Right. So I've got my questions. And just ignore the camera.
Yep.
So I'm talking straight to me. I think a good way to start off is if you just kind of say who you are and
Yep.
what you studied. And then I'll just throw the questions in. If you can kind of fit the questions into the answers in a way.
Yeah, cool.
Because they won't want me on there, but they will need to know what it is you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Having not heard the questions. So
Okay.
we'll try it like that. And because I'm doing two cameras, we can do cuts.
Okay.
So, we stop after each answer, so to speak, and then, yep. So tell us who you are.
So I'm Jodie Woods, and I started my ethical, sustainable fashion business just after I graduated with my 2 degrees from Massey a few years ago.
Good. Okay. So you've just given us a hint about that, but tell us what business you're in.
So yeah, it's an ethical, sustainable fashion business. It's called Tonic and Cloth, and it's based right here in Palmy, but our fingers spread well across the world. So we're actually manufacturing half of our collections in India with an amazing, empowering sewing house over there. And whatever we make there is made from organic cotton, organic denims and things. And then the balance of our productions are actually made in Wellington. So it's local, it's international. We sell here to the Kiwi market. We're also selling now also to Australia. And hoping to go further afield than that, but at the moment this is where we are, and certainly what I've studied through international business at Massey has really helped me to do those things.
Right. And so when you studied, how did you study? Was it on campus, distance, and what was it like?
So I actually studied in fact all of my qualifications at Massey through distance learning, and I started that actually originally because when I started studying I really wasn't well enough to come to campus. I had a few ongoing issues with my health, and coming to campus was just too much of a push. So I was so excited to find out that Massey actually does distance learning. Now back in the day when I started, there wasn't a lot of internet-based stuff, there wasn't a lot of digital stuff, and I just remember sending assignments through the post, through snail mail, and having the library send me out books, like actual physical books and not downloads, because that system wasn't there yet. But these days, and certainly since I was studying my master's, just finishing off last year, absolutely digital, and so much easier than what it used to be. Really fluid, like a really fluid way to learn and to receive information and send it back. And it's been an incredible, really well supported experience studying by distance with Massey. And
so why Massey?
One of the main things was actually the distance learning. Like I knew I could get a degree without leaving home. And at that time, as I said, I wasn't well in the beginning of studying. And so that was absolutely key, that I could do it from my house. And actually, as things went on with my distance learning and my life changed, when I was travelling, I was still able to study. When I had my kids, I was still able to study. And then when I was actually running my business and trying to finish off my master's, I was able again to do that through distance learning, not having to be here on campus, and just being able to fit that learning around my life.
Right. And what was the transition from studying to real life like?
I think it's always a bit of a difficult one. For me, I think I was lucky in that I didn't go and work for somebody else. I actually went straight into working for myself, so I had that flexibility. And I found that one of the greatest things that I took out of learning through Massey was knowing how to research, like going through a lot of information and gathering it all together and putting my critical thinking cap on and kind of working out what was good and what wasn't, and what I needed to keep and what I needed to throw away. So as I researched my business, all that research practice I had through studying at Massey just so came into play. So in that way it was actually quite a fluid transition into like the real world of business, because it was very much about information and working out what information was good and what was bad. And then being able to put that into play. So that was incredible. That's probably the biggest thing I took out of studying at Massey, and just this sense of having a really big task and being able to break it down into steps and then work through it, you know, and knowing that there's like an end point that you're working towards. That was incredible too. Like, I think when you start out doing a degree, and especially if you're looking at doing a master's or a doctorate towards the end, that is huge. Like, it feels overwhelming, as does setting up a business. But I think learning how to break that up into tasks and learning how to ask for help, I think, you know, so key.
Okay, and so tell me, would you recommend Massey to other students?
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially, and I've talked a lot already about distance learning, like that is so key, I think, for a lot of people in their busy lives. They've already got a career, or they've got a family, or they're trying to travel, or like me in the beginning, and they've got illness as well to kind of contend with. And to be able to fit things around by having distance learning is incredible. But also the support that's there for probably all the students, but especially, of course, my experience with distance learning, like such fantastic support. They have this thing called the pre-reading service, and for me that was really key because I had no idea how to write an essay when I first started studying, and to be able to pass that work in to the pre-reading service several times a year, I think for distance students you get a few goes at it, and have someone with a fresh brain look at your words and be able to go, hang on a second, there's some problems here, this is what you need to work through. And I think if you can kind of be humble and take that criticism and work through it, it's invaluable. Like the first few papers I did through Massey, I barely passed. I think I just scraped in with a C, but I mean, it was the lowest C grade you could possibly get. And I had really good constructive criticism through those first couple of papers, and I put that criticism into practice, and it actually game changed things for me with my degree. After that, you can actually see, if you look at the grades, they go up, and they go up because of the support and that kind of, I mean, it's good criticism coming in and saying, hey, this isn't good enough, you need to work on this area, your sentences run on. Like, there's so many things that kept coming up, and I kind of went, you know what, I've got to listen to this. And when I did, that actually changed my experience of learning at Massey, so that support was key.
Okay, anything else you'd like to say?
I don't know, we should call Jane. What else might they want covered?
I think that's pretty well covered.
That's
If you
pretty
want to
good,
leave it
eh?
there, we can leave it there, that's all good.
Yeah.
All right?
Cool, that was easy.
Yes.
Well done, thanks, dude.
That's nice and easy.